If you made it to the playoffs, congratulations. And if you're betting the playoffs, welcome back to the problem. This is Bets and Regrets, and today we're breaking down NFL wildcard weekend against the spread, winner go home games, inflated lines, and way too much confidence for January. Every bet matters more, every mistake hurts longer, and somehow we still love the card. If you're riding with any of these picks, hit the follow on Spotify and save this episode so you've got them before kickoff. All right, let's get into wildcard weekend. I'm Brogan,
I'm Sean.
And I'm Nick.
and we've got some shots to take, boys. Sean and I specifically both went 1-5 last week. I made a statement at the beginning of the pod last week that I am ice cold and to fade me, and that is the only thing I guess I got going for me right now. Texas Georgia money line. Texas easily hit the money line for me against Michigan. Georgia couldn't get it done against Ole Miss. Let's talk about Ohio State, Indiana moneyline parlay. Yeah, Indiana just rolling. How about Ohio State? Can't even beat Miami. That's weak. Texas Tech moneyline. I think Texas Tech forgot that they were even playing a football game. They got shut out against Oregon, I believe. Emeka Ibuka, 25 receiving yards. I think he had one reception for like 6 or 8, so love to see that. My one hit was Buffalo -7. I knew that was a mortal lock, I guess, because final game in Highmark Stadium for the Bills. And last but not least, in the parlay of the week, Dallas let me down. The Giants, the kings of winning meaningless games, beat the Cowboys quite handily. So Dallas did not cover the 3.5 spread. So I've got 5 shots ahead of me tonight. And yeah, I am going to just be very simple tonight. And I got a little bit of Captain Morgan, and we're going to be sipping on some spiced rum 5 times in a row. Sean, you got some shots too. Do you want to go next?
Yeah, unfortunately I do. So looking at the board, looking at my picks on the board, and I'm seeing a lot of red. And I'm just thinking one thing. I liked a lot of these picks, and I would take them again, given all the circumstances. Unfortunately, though, I did go 1-5. The Vanderbilt Utah money line parlay. Like I said last week, I got to stop betting these fucking college bowl game parlays, but they're just too tempting, right? Vanderbilt did not cover, or didn't win. They got beat by Iowa, and I really thought the only way that the Vanderbilt one wasn't going to get home is if that Iowa defense does what it does and just smothers Diego Pavia and Vanderbilt's offense. And it was looking like that for the first half, but the second half they exploded and they put 30-some points on them. Unfortunately, Vanderbilt's defense did not come to play. They gave up 30-some points to an Iowa-led offense, and ultimately that was just too much. You just couldn't do that. So that one didn't hit. Utah did beat the shit out of Nebraska, though. So we're right there. Next one was Indiana and Ohio State moneyline parlay. Good old Big Ten moneyline parlay. Figured, what the hell, why not? And Indiana boat race. They mollywopped. They beat the shit out of Alabama. But Ohio State couldn't quite figure out Miami, and the U is looking like it's back. Next one was the Bengals -7.5 against the Browns, and I thought they were going to be able to get it done, but I guess at this point in the season, they can't even beat bad teams when it doesn't matter. So that was unfortunate. Next one was Texans -10.5 against the Colts, and I didn't realize Riley Leonard had that dog in him. He put the team on his back on multiple occasions, and that was an overly competitive game for a Texans team that didn't look like they were resting a lot of their starters. So that's interesting to see going into the playoffs. And my parlay of the week, I took the Bears -3 against the Lions, who had nothing to play for. And the Bears trying to lock up the 2 seed and ultimately got it because the Eagles lost. But they lost because they benched all their starters. Did the Bears? No, because the Bears fucking suck. The one that did get home for me, though, thankfully, my only lock was the Steelers +3.5 with some divine intervention with a missed kick at the end, where there's a little good old Catholicism in the city of Pittsburgh with some holy water being splashed on that side of the end zone. So that was cool. We went 1-5. I got 5 shots. This will kill the bottle of Old Smoky Tennessee Moonshine. Bottoms up, boys.
All right, and then last week, I went 4-1. We have 6 bets, so we'll get to that in a second. For my very first bet, I had Baker plus 15 rushing yards. I doubled down on that for the parlay of the week. I was the only one to hit the parlay of the week this week, so I'll give myself a round of applause. Yeah, Baker ended up with like 30 something, and it's just a must-win game for the Buccaneers. And obviously, Baker's going to put his body on the line because he's just that type of guy. So I was pretty confident in that. And then Nolans plus 3.5. Brogan and I were sitting and talking while this game was going on. Nolans hit that nice, good old backdoor cover. I was sweating that fucking thing so hard. I was sweating that shit so fucking hard. Like, Shuck threw an interception, and then they went down the field and scored. And then New Orleans was able to come back and score a touchdown. So they did a nice little backdoor cover for me, which was pretty fucking awesome. Saved me a shot there. Then I had Kansas City and Las Vegas under 36.5. Yeah. Yeah. Just watching who each team was fucking rolling out as their starting quarterbacks. Yeah, there was no way that game was ever going to hit that mark. That game was horrible. If you had eyes, don't. I don't know why you'd spend time watching that game. And so then here is the good old controversy. I had Keenan Allen over under receptions. Since they rolled out Trey Lance, they never actually put out a fucking line for the wide receivers. We usually do it so early on in the week that they typically don't have lines as is, so I thought it was going to be another one of those. No, they just never rolled out a line for Chargers wide receivers. Keenan Allen's his contract said he needed 6 more receptions, but he got 7. So we're just counting this one as a push. So it's aight. Then Deebo Samuel, he was another guy chasing contract numbers. He only had 2 receptions, and I think I needed him to get 4 or some shit like that. Just nowhere close to where he needed to be. That game, it was just a weird game. Just a super weird game. Then once again, I did double down on Baker. So I will only have 1 shot this week, baby. I kind of heated up. I kind of heated up besides last week on the picks towards the end of the season, which was really nice. I was super polarizing on picks. Some weeks I'd go amazing, and then I had a really bad streak for a while. But at the end of the season, Brogan, are these totals up top accurate?
Oh yeah, they are
They should
accurate.
be, yeah.
Updated.
Yep. So I ended up going 48 and 56. Sean went 49 and 59, and Brogan went 50 and 56 and 2. So I mean, not bad for locks, but not great.
Yeah.
we could do better.
I just want to defend myself a little bit. I have been ice cold the last 3 weeks. I've gone 1 and 5. That's 3 and 15 if you're keeping track. So the old bankroll is taking a little bit of a hit here, but law of averages says this thing's got to turn around, and then we're going to do that this week, I believe.
I mean, you take away the month of November, and I'm looking nicey.
Right.
If you take away all my losses, I would have a lot more wins.
Well, talking about wins and losses, there are a lot of wins and losses. 16, 32 maybe, because there's a win and a loss. Whatever. There were 16 games this last week in the final week of the NFL season. And really only 5 games maybe mattered total. On Saturday, though, we had 2 big games. Panthers and the Buccaneers battling out for the NFC South. But hang on a minute, because the Buccaneers end up winning that game 16-14. But then they missed the playoffs because the Falcons have been going on a run at the end of the season, beat the Saints. So now the Panthers, who lost the win and you're in game, because it's not truly win and you're in, get into the playoffs. Pretty wild, I guess, there, that the Buccaneers finally decide to win a game after losing 4 or 5 in a row, and then they don't even get in because of the Falcons. Man, just tough. I don't know. It's wild, I guess, that.
It always sucks, for games like that where it's decided by you have the same exact record and whatever, and then it lies outside of your control. Yeah. I always hate those games, but I also understand them because that's just the way it works. But fuck, those suck. Those really do suck.
Well, and I mean, the Buccaneers did it to themselves. They lost to the
Yeah.
Falcons. They lost to the Saints. Both of those games were at home during this losing stretch for them. So, I mean, not too much pity for the Buccaneers. However, this whole division went negative. So the Panthers ended up winning the division at 8-9. The Buccaneers were also 8-9. The Falcons came back to also be 8-9, and the Saints were 6-11. So the NFC South winner is the Panthers at 8-9. Nobody in this division was over 500, and the Panthers are the 4 seed, who are going to be hosting the Rams this weekend, who are 12-5. Shout out NFL playoff seeding.
You get this every so often. Usually it's an AFC South or NFC West back in the day where they had some shit, just some stinkers. But yeah, I mean, you do see some of these games. You get an occasional upset with nobody. This team doesn't belong in here. Then they end up shocking the first week of Wild Card Weekend, Super Wild Card Weekend, technically. And are they going to go on a run? No. Could they win because they are kind of a ping pong? Maybe.
I just don't like how you penalize teams that are good for being in the same division as a team that's slightly better than them. I mean, like you said, this does happen every once in a while. It's not just a one-time thing. But like the Rams being 12-5, and they have to go on the road in the wild card, like, and then you're going to an 8-9 team. It just doesn't feel right.
Oh, yeah.
I
Sorry if you can visibly hear or verbally hear me gagging. I had to switch it up. I ran out of shots. I'm switching it up to Captain Morgan Original Spiced Rum, and fuck, not doing great. Ugh.
Well, yeah. So like, I mean, the polar opposite of the NFC South is the NFC West. Seahawks win it at 14-3. Niners are 12-5. Rams are 12-5, and obviously the Cardinals suck. But like, the 49ers and Rams get punished come Wild Card Weekend because they're in the same division as the Seahawks. Like, I don't know. As you can probably tell, I'm a big proponent of it should just be records and tiebreakers decide the seeding for playoffs. Divisions don't matter.
I don't know, but if you make divisions not matter, then like all of a sudden rivalry games like mean less. You know, like
I don't think so
I
because you
don't
play
know.
that team twice a year. So if you don't win those games, then they really still fuck you come playoff time.
I don't know. I don't know. It's
Anyways, topic for
Well,
a different day.
very similar to last year, right? Like the Lions went 15-2, and the
Yeah.
Vikings went 14-3, and then the Vikings had to go on the road to a.
Right.
Granted, the Rams won 10 games, but they had to go to the Rams, and they got inevitably beat. But you see it every once in a while.
Right. Yeah, I'll get off my soapbox. Anyways, that Panthers Broncos. This captain's hitting me too. Panthers Bucks. That was a soggy game in the first half. It was downpouring. I didn't realize this was
Stoppy.
going to be a wet game. It dried up a little bit at the end of the game, but yeah, it was a nice wet affair. And yeah, Buccaneers got it done, but do not make the playoffs. The Panthers lose and get in. And then Saturday night, boy, I thought this was going to be a heck of a game. Kind of was a snooze fest in my opinion. The Seahawks went to San Francisco and beat the Niners 13-3. Seahawks secured the number 1 seed in the NFC with that win, and the Niners just could not get anything going on offense. They had one drive that seemed promising, and then it went through McCaffrey's hands on like the 3-yard line.
oh yeah.
Seahawks got an interception, but outside of that, the Niners did nothing on offense.
No, they had chances, and then every time they seemed like they were going to put a drive together, get a couple first downs. They kind of stalled out around midfield. Maybe they get to like Seahawks 40, in between the 40 and 50, and then just either miss it. But that game shouldn't have even been close from the jump. Like it was, what was it, 19-3?
I mean
13-3.
the Seattle
13-3.
kicker missed so many.
That should have
fucking
been,
kicks,
yeah.
too.
I mean, it should have been 19 or 20-3. He missed a field goal. He
Yeah,
missed
Seattle
a
went for it on-
20-some-yard field goal.
Seattle went for it on 4th down and like their first drive of the
Yeah.
game. Like
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's a
3 or
9-point
something.
swing right there. It was deceptively close.
yeah, that game could have easily like gotten out of hand pretty fucking quick.
And ultimately, I was going to pick the Niners, as I'm sure a lot of people are, as like a dark horse NFC coming out of the NFC. But I know the defense struggled, and I just thought the offense was going to be too much. I get suckered into this every goddamn year. And ultimately, I forget. I got to make a note of it in my betting commandments. But the come playoff time, defense outweighs the offense 99% of the time. And That's what the Seahawks did. They showed up and they stopped a high-potent, high-powered offense that was the San Francisco 49ers. And any team any team you face in the playoffs, excluding the Packers, are going to have a solid, healthy defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and here's the fun thing. I mean, depending how it shakes out, I believe Niners, if they could, this is a lot of ifs, but if they win this week, they could go to Seattle if depending how everything else shakes out. If the Bears beat the Packers, basically, but then you'd have that rematch this time in Seattle, and then if you win that, you're in the NFC Championship game, and potentially you're getting Fred Warner back then. I believe the NFC Championship game's
He was looking at the
quickest he can
divisional
come
now.
back.
He's like doing an accelerated recovery.
Right. So, like, I don't know. I like the Niners as a dark horse here. Obviously, they've killed the Packers so many times in the playoffs that maybe I just have PTSD from that. But I don't know. That defense kind of sucks, but if they could get Fred Warner back, that could be a huge boost. All right. Well, yeah, I guess that was Saturday. Sunday was a lot of meaningless games, a lot of games that had third stringers playing.
You don't want to talk about Clayton Tune?
Yeah, no, I don't. What I do want to talk about, though, is Browns-Bengals. Browns sneaking out a win here against the Bengals at the end of the year.
Zach
Also,
King.
kings of winning meaningless games. However, Miles Garrett, Jesus, I almost said Garrett Wilson. Miles Garrett
Not quite.
getting
Wrong
the
position.
sack record. 23rd sack of the season,
Not a real record.
breaking the tie with TJ Watt and Michael Strahan. And yeah, that's where I was going with that.
I'm
he
so
waited
fucking
till
sick of people getting
week
upset
18.
about this.
Why? It took him
The-
18 weeks.
It took him 18 weeks. Look at the amount of snaps it took. All right, like, yeah, it took him technical games, but he wasn't on the field for the entirety of that. He had 400 some. I'll pull it up. I should have had this thing ready to go.
So is he just a situational player? That's why he's not in there for as
Yeah,
many
it just
snaps?
feels like then you're just using
Doesn't
him
that
as
mean
like
it's easier?
Yeah.
Isn't it easier for him because he's rested and he can make plays versus TJ Watt and Michael Strahan, who are just dogs out there every play grinding?
True.
You would think, but at the end of the day, all these records are going to be broken through the course of a 17
Not the
game
Jets
season.
record.
Not the Jets record, which for
We're
those
getting
of us
there.
that don't know, yeah, we'll get there.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, like Myles Garrett, did they pay or did they invest in anything other than the defensive line for the Browns? No, which is exactly why that defense was just so threatening. You got to worry about multiple other dudes like any good defense does. Like Strahan, they had Justin Tuck, OCU Manora, and others to worry about. But no, I have zero problem with this. I hate all the fucking boomer takes. Oh, it actually doesn't count. So if
I
you
don't
would
know
have
if it's
if you
a
would have
boomer
if you would have tied it in 16, you and Gastineau are on the same
Well,
wavelength here.
okay, so I'm glad you brought up Gastineau because that was quite a dive by Burrow as well. I just want to throw that
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, that was kind of an Olay.
Right.
But-
So can TJ Watt and Strahan show up to Burrow at a signing in like 20 years? Fucking-
They could,
want
but if
my sack.
I want my sack back,
I want
Joe.
my sack back.
We want our sack back, Joe.
I don't think Joe Burrow gives a fuck. Did you see him playing with his hair after the comments?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Joe Burrow gives a shit.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, not giving a shit. Packers Vikings. 9 supposedly injured himself and took himself out.
Shocker.
Oh
Yeah, because he was saying, "I'm so fucking sorry" to Justin Jefferson.
right. And the Packers did nothing.
Oh,
And then Cowboys Giants. Giants won a meaningless game. End up 4-13.
Goat.
A game that did kind of matter.
So close,
The Jaguars
so close.
clinched the AFC South with a 41-7 just destroying of the Titans. The Titans actually got out to a 7-0 lead in this game. So it was 41 unanswered from the Jags to clinch the AFC South title.
Cam Ward,
Cam Ward.
messed up his shoulder though. Yeah, AC sprain.
Yeah.
Don't love
Be
that.
fine, but
And the other
he's got to get some help.
Yeah, and in the other AFC South game, the Colts were hanging with the Texans, like Sean, I think you kind of alluded to.
Riley Leonard, dog.
Yeah, Riley Leonard, is he a dog?
He's kind of good.
Yeah, he also scored a rushing touchdown. If only somebody had that as a dog last week at plus 500. Oh, we did! But yeah, that was a close game. Texans pulled it out at the end to get the 5 seed with that win, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, Colts obviously weren't playing for much. Jonathan Taylor didn't get the ball that much, and the Texans eking out a win there against the Colts. Colts, though, I mean, sucks to be them. They were 8-2, I believe, and lost the last 7. Is that
Yeah,
right?
that's crazy.
Well, that's why you don't trade for Sauce Gardner, because the worst team in the NFL had 3 wins. Sauce Gardner had only 2 this season.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
even know
wild.
that. That's a great stat.
That's a great stat.
Oh, I got another heater coming up.
Love
Actually,
that.
no, you guys don't have didn't steal many of my picks, so we're all right.
Well, we kind of alluded to this record as well. The Bills just drubbed the Jets. I don't know if that's a word, but we're going with it. It was Highmark Stadium's final game before the Bills get their new stadium next year. So yeah, the Bills had something to play for in that one. And yeah, as you guys are alluding to, the Jets record, no interceptions for the Jets. That's 17 games and not one interception for a defense. And mind you, they just hired Aaron Glenn, who was a defensive back in his playing time, a defensive guy, defensive coach, and they can't get one ball to bounce their way for an interception through 17 games? It's unreal.
You saw how fluky that shit is, even with the Niners and Seahawks, right? Like
Yeah.
all it takes is a bobble, the ball to bounce your way. You want to talk about a cursed franchise? I saw this, reel or TikTok of this Jets fan reading a history of the Jets to his infant child, and he was pointing out all the players, and he's like, "That's Joe Namath. We can't win a Super Bowl until this man dies." Because we are a cursed franchise. That it just got me. I thought that was funny, but that's the state of Jets fans. Like they're dejected, they're sad people. It's a bummer. I feel for them. But also, fuck the Jets.
Yeah. Moving on to the NFC North, the Bears losing to the Lions. The Lions are up 16-0. Bears weren't doing anything. Bears have a wild comeback in the fourth quarter, like they always seem to do.
Yeah.
But the Lions weathered the storm and hit a walk-off field goal to beat them out. I just wanted to highlight. I don't know if Nick, if you had this up your sleeve. Obviously, the Bears won the NFC North. Does anybody know what the Bears' record within the NFC North was this year?
5-1.
2-4 is what they did in their own division. So talking about division games meaning something, apparently they don't, because you can go 2-4 in your division and still win it. And Ben Johnson loses again to Dan Campbell. They lost week 2 in Detroit.
By a fucking
The
landslide.
Bears did. Yeah,
I
and then
am sick of this fucking child just throwing shade and throwing a tantrum whenever shit doesn't go his way.
Dude.
I was irate when he's like, "We play." What's this fucking quote? He's like, "We play our starters. We play football around here."
Yeah.
You did. You did against the Lions team that didn't give a shit. Amon Ra was stunting on you. You were getting pissy like a fucking child, and yeah, they had nothing to play for. You had everything, and you couldn't do it.
Yeah, that's what I love too. Is all week the talk was, we're football players. We're gonna play football. We're a football team, and then you lay an egg at home against your old team.
You
going
possibly
into the
banged up
playoffs.
CJ. Good for you. Good on you.
Yep.
Have fun.
Yep. Just, I don't know. His fucking ego got in the way of him. Like, I feel like he really wanted that win against the Lions. That's all he wanted was a win against Dan Campbell. And he just couldn't pull it out. And that makes it delightful, honestly.
Yep.
To know that
Caleb
he's
was
a
pissy.
loser at the end of the day.
Caleb was pissy because he saw his dad get pissy and didn't quite understand everything about it, all the rivalry and everything, but it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, and Caleb Williams did, I believe,
Crying
become
Caleb.
the Bears' season record holder for most passing yards. However, he did
Yeah,
not
congrats
break
on him to getting 4,000. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
did
wait.
not break 4,000.
Oh, no.
Ended up 58 yards short.
Dude,
of
did you see
4,000.
the fucking stats at halftime? The Bears' offense at half was fucking, deplorable. They were so
I saw it
dog
and I
shit.
smiled.
Yeah,
I
dude.
smiled.
It was so bad. They
Nick,
fucking
I know
struggled.
Nick, you have a memory like a elephant when it comes to this stuff. What was Jordan Love's first year as a starter? What were some of his stats?
Jordan Love
Surely
had
he couldn't have gotten over 4,000 yards.
4,100
He's
yards.
terrible.
Yeah, dude. 4,100 yards. I think 33 touchdowns and 11 interceptions was
And
Jordan
Caleb
Love's.
Williams must have had more touchdowns than that, right? There's no way. Jordan Love's dog shit. There's no way.
dude, it's crazy.
Well, so yeah, I mean the Bears are pretty wild in the fourth quarter. If our stats department is correct, they have 14 touchdowns in the fourth quarter this season. They have 6 in the third quarter. So this team does nothing. They also have 2 in the first quarter. They do have 11 in the second quarter. So I guess they like scoring in even quarters. But still, they have scored the majority of their touchdowns in the fourth quarter. I don't know.
Is that
we'll
a
see.
good thing or a bad thing? Like,
I feel like it's a double-edged sword because it means if they ever get down, they're never out of it because they've been there, done that. But at the same time, if you get down in the playoffs, are you going to be able to kind of do this as you keep playing stiffer and stiffer competition every week?
Yeah. Defenses continue to improve. You're not playing garbage.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so that one was a fun one, I guess you could say. Something that wasn't that fun, Broncos-Chargers. This game was disgusting. I don't know if you guys watched any of it. So
I did.
The Broncos clinched the AFC's top seed, but, I mean, there was not a whole lot to write home about in this game besides Trey Lance. Didn't look great.
It sucks.
Oh,
Yeah.
there was one thing to write home about. That game single-handedly caused Sean and I to tie in spreads, actually.
Yep.
Well, that is correct. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, that game came down to it too. Now that you're scrambling my brains a little bit, right? Like, wasn't there a toe tap in the end zone that?
Yep, there was
looked
a
like
toe tap.
touchdown.
Yep.
But
You have
didn't control it.
272 total games in the year, and it comes down to one of the final ones of the week.
Yeah, that's why you gotta love football, bro. Game of inches, even in fucking gambling and betting, bro. Like, came down to the wire.
Yeah, and then the other 3 games, Rams-Cardinals. I mean, Cardinals kind of hang in there until the Rams took off in the fourth quarter. Dolphins-Patriots. Drake May didn't really do a ton in that game. It was really Ramondre Stevenson going crazy. And then Commies-Eagles. It was just full of backups, so who cares? But Sunday night, the final game of the NFL regular season, you have win and you're in game, right? AFC North battle, Pittsburgh-Baltimore. And what a game to live up to the hype of being the Sunday night game. I mean, just a crazy game. Started off like true Pittsburgh-Baltimore games typically do. Defensive battle, not a ton of points scored. And then the fourth quarter, the teams just erupted and we're hitting bombs back and forth. I mean, not necessarily bombs from the Steelers, but
vintage Rodgers though.
Yeah, that was. I mean,
Rodgers can't hear anything. He's yelling at Artie Smith. Artie Smith's trying to yell the play. Artie Smith's basically on the hash mark giving Rodgers the play.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
In an interview, Rodgers basically just asked who caught that touchdown on the double move. I forget.
Austin. Calvin Austin.
Yeah. DK. Yeah, he asked Calvin Austin what route he wanted to run. Like, he literally, like, I think Rodgers just, like, fucking backyard footballed that shit and was like, yeah, what do you want to do? And then...
What he's going to need to do.
Yeah, I mean, like, that just shows, like, the veteran presence of, like, having a good quarterback like that. In the day and age of, like, it feels like schemes kind of dictate if a quarterback does well or not, and how offensive coordinators feel like... if you have a bad offensive coordinator, all of a sudden your quarterback does horribly because it just feels like the development of quarterbacks is drastically changed. Goes to show, like, having an older QB that actually knows how to read a defense and goes through progressions and understands how defenses work, was able to make a play, I would probably say arguably better than fucking Arthur Smith. I think Arthur Smith is a fucking boob, personally.
Well, so that's one thing I didn't love watching that sequence is Rodgers is 42. His career is potentially on the line, and he's freaking out about not being able to hear the play call. I do respect him that he trusts the coaches to get them in the right play, but I would have loved Rodgers to just flip off the sideline and say I got this and just call his own shit and then get to the sideline after scoring the touchdown and just lose it for not being able to hear anything. However, Steelers got it done. Man, the ending to that game was insane, right? So that double move happens. Pittsburgh scores to go up 26-24. Boswell hasn't missed an extra point in like 2 years. And after looking at the video again, potentially that ball was slightly tipped. Potentially it wasn't. I don't know for sure. But anyways, Boswell misses the extra point, so now it's
Yep.
26-24. Baltimore gets a pretty big return. They only need like 20 yards. Well, then Pittsburgh's defense bows up, and it's like 4th and 7, season on the line, and Isaiah Likely catches like a 20-yard pass to put the Ravens in field goal range. 44-yard field goal. Tyler Loop hasn't missed within 50 all year, I believe. Rookie kicker, and it goes wide right. I don't know. It seemed like poetic justice. The amount of times Rodgers has been let down in his career by his defense and special teams, it seemed like it was going to happen again, and it seemed like
Yep.
Rodgers was just cursed. So to see one go the right way for Rodgers and to get into the playoffs after all he's been through with the New York Jets saga, tearing his Achilles, man, I was happy to see it.
No, that
Well, even I
was
think you texted Brogan on Sunday night. It was the football gods weren't going to let him go out like that. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
no that would I would have been so sad. I was sitting on the couch and I was like, dude, if Rodgers loses this game in this fashion again, I'm not even a Steelers fan. Well, I am, a surrogate Steelers fan because of Rodgers, but like I was depressed towards the end of the game. I'm like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? They're just about to lose. Jalen Ramsey could have he fucked
Jalen
up.
Ramsey had money on the game.
Dude,
And it ain't with the Steelers.
dude, if he would he just fucked that up so bad. Like he had it. It was Isaiah Likely was high pointing the ball. Ramsey had the perfect opportunity just to fucking punch that thing out or contest it at all, and he does nothing, man. Is Ramsey even worth money anymore to any team? Genuinely asking, is he even worth money?
Any team? No. You want to check his bank account after the game? I'm sure there's a hefty lump sum in there.
Oh, before we wrap up, last week's recap, the refs hate the Panthers, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up because that was something I did want to talk about, and I completely spaced on when we were talking about that game. Moving back to that NFC South game, the Panthers did get fucked. There was an offensive PI call on Tetaroa McMillan. There was
The fumble.
the fumble, the backwards pass that supposedly went out of bounds when it was like never even close to out of bounds. Man, I mean that's tough to see in a game with that much importance. All those calls go against the Panthers. At the end of the day, I mean, if you got to win, how many referees are there? 7 or 8. So if you got to win 18 or 19 versus 11, I mean, you got to find a way. But the cards were definitely stacked against the Panthers, it seemed, in that game.
The thing that really pissed me off was that backwards pass for a fumble. All right, let me just explain this shit. So
Explain it.
they were doing a swing pass, I think, to the left, and Bryce Young threw the ball. It was behind the running back, or it was in front of the running back, but behind the quarterback. So a backwards pass, right? The ball hits the ground. The running back picks up the ball, and they blow it dead. But then they fucking go back and they say, no, it was a fumble and the receiver stepped out of bounds. It's like, what, you blew the play dead and the fucking running back had green in front of him, and that caused them to lose several yards on that one play and made them lose a fucking down too. It was such a gross miscall that as a non-Panthers fan, I was frustrated. I was like, dude, what the fuck is this? That was such a bad call on all sides. I don't understand how that call, withstood, New York. I know it doesn't go to New York for that one, but holy fuck, somebody should have called down and be like, dude, what are you guys doing? That was just bad. Bad on all sides.
How do you rectify that?
Just say it's an incomplete pass. All they could have done is an incomplete pass.
Fuck the Rams up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Same thing we saw in the Rams Seahawks game a few weeks ago, where 2-point conversion looks like it's a incomplete pass, and then just pick the ball up in the end zone, and supposedly that's a successful 2-point try. There's no fair way to do something like that, because giving the offense another shot at it's not fair necessarily, but if everybody reacts like it's an incomplete pass, it's probably should just be ruled as an incomplete pass. Like, do we need to be reviewing everything? And
Or like let the
okay,
play go.
I'm on a tangent here too.
Or
If
or let
some of the
play develop.
catches that are overturned these days are fucking ridiculous. How many catches in NFL history do you think would be overturned that didn't get overturned because they were not scrutinizing things at fucking frame by frame, seeing if the ball wiggles a little bit?
As a quasi Raider fan, the fucking catch. Nobody has an accurate camera angle on that bullshit. Conveniently, the fucking catch. Does the Steelers have a dynasty if that shit doesn't happen? No.
Right.
Bring up beef fucking 40 years ago. I love it.
But like, I don't know. It pisses me off when like something's ruled a catch and then they just like whistle down like, oh, hang on, we gotta check that, or like, I don't know, like going frame by frame to see if a ball slightly wiggles when a dude's rolling on the ground getting like hit. Like, I don't know. It just
in the age of technology, we have too much to overanalyze.
Right.
I think it's silly.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah. Anyways, Panthers got fucked, but they got in the playoffs thanks to the Falcons. So
Kirko.
I don't know. Ball don't lie. Sean, do you have anything specific to the games? Otherwise, I was going to move on to fired coaches since it's the end.
No. I was talking with somebody earlier this week that I felt like finally I could start taking a little bit of a bye week myself and resting for the playoffs, given all these lackluster games. And I think I'm ready after all this playoff talk and all the great games that we recapped. I'm pumped. I just can't wait to get to the games.
Yeah, well, you know, there's some coaches that will not be, at least with the teams that they were with this year, going into next year. Obviously, Brian Daboll got let go by the Giants earlier this season. But for the Falcons, Raheem Morris got fired.
Good.
I don't know. He's a guy I could see potentially getting a spot somewhere else, but
Yeah, no business.
maybe
business
not.
being a head coach.
Maybe not. I'm glad you caught my sarcasm there.
Nah.
Also, Kevin Stefanski gets fired by the Browns. Now, this is one, there is no sarcasm here. I don't know how much of a problem this is for Kevin Stefanski because they're paying Deshaun Watson billions of dollars, it seems, and he's not doing anything for him. So when you're getting rid of the coach for that but holding on to your general manager, that seems fucked up. So
he has carried you. Like Stefanski, 2-time coach of the year with the fucking Browns.
Right.
Do you know how difficult that is in this day and age? And yeah, you give a bunch of money to Deshaun Watson. Okay, that cripples you. Then your cornerstone of the franchise, and Myles Garrett's like, yeah, I'm out. Oh, can we offer you this amount of money? Yeah, I'm going to stay. Like, yeah, what else are you supposed to do otherwise besides the fans putting bags over their heads and going to the games? That's fucking embarrassing. I don't hope this is a Packer fan, but if we were by some just any sheer happenstance to get rid of Matt LaFleur and we don't go after Halfley, we better sign Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah, well, and this is something I think I maybe brought up on the pod before, but I don't get why general managers are so safe in the league and coaches are not, because you're literally asking somebody to have to deal with the garbage you give them and make it like shine. Yeah. Versus, why are we not looking more at the GM whose job it is to bring in the right talent?
Very seldomly, because I do love this sports movie, very seldomly do you get a Billy Bean in Moneyball where you're a small market team and then you got to like scratch and claw your way to be competitive. And yeah, you don't have necessarily, you might find a couple diamonds in the rough, but with the shared salary cap and everything, how it is, there is absolutely zero reason. If you are a competent man with numbers and you're good at math and finances, you should be able to handle it. And no, like 45% of the time, you should be able to at least hit on a decent chunk of the drafts, which as a Packer fan is frustrating because don't have the best record in that, but that's fine, I guess, for now. But yeah, like I don't understand it.
I don't understand.
You're financially crippled. You should be able to be given a little bit of grace given your pedigree.
I don't understand why more teams don't do the Belichick thing where like they kind of give him GM powers along with coach powers.
Because, it's a lot of responsibility.
I think that's asking a lot.
I mean, like just get like an assistant to that because like have the coach decide who to fucking draft, right? Have your head coach be the guy.
then you're also like, I don't know, you're giving some players money as the GM and not other players. Like
Yeah, it can be
Belichick,
like a
obviously,
preference. Like
yeah,
if you're going to
Belichick
play
made
the
it work,
manager's game
but
It
that's a
worked for them.
lot. I
It
feel
worked. It worked
well,
for them quite
for a
well
while.
right,
for a
but
long
For a
time.
I
while.
mean,
How they doing in North Carolina when he's essentially the GM?
Well,
yeah, I mean, I think just because it works once doesn't mean it's proven. Speaking of that, Pete Carroll did work once in Seattle. He did not work out for the Raiders. He did successfully get them the first overall pick. So the Raiders are officially on the clock. But Pete Carroll is out. He's 74 years old. He is probably done, I assume. I mean,
It should be.
um,
yeah.
Right
yeah.
off in the
So,
sunset.
but I mean, yeah, Pete Carroll. I don't know if I like him necessarily, but he did.
I do.
I
Gumshoe
don't have any
conspiracy theorist.
issues.
I like him.
I don't have any
Yeah,
I'm in
issues
on
with
him. You
Pete.
should have given the ball to Marshawn, but I
Right.
like him.
Retweet.
Cardinals got rid of Jonathan Gannon. Yeah, I mean, Cardinals have also
It-
just kind of been a disaster. And
I heard
who's-
I heard some dejected Cardinal fans the day after the season ended. They're doing a hashtag fire the Gannon.
yeah, well, like, what are they gonna do with their quarterback? Because like, is Kyler Murray gonna be their
He's
franchise
a New
QB,
York
or-
Jet.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of teams also that, well, not a lot of teams, but a few teams announced that they're keeping their coaches. Like the Colts aren't making any changes. They're keeping Shane Steichen and also Chris Ballard as their GM. Both of those guys have kind of been on the hot seat when Jim Irsay was alive, and apparently Carly Irsay and the Irsay family running it don't have the balls to make any changes. They're all females, haha. Okay, I was hoping that was going to hit harder than it did. And then Bengals, Zach
not right on the
Taylor's.
dashboard. Otherwise, I would have hit you with the drums.
Zach Taylor's, I think, also supposedly sticking around with the Bengals.
He's safe.
Which, I mean, I don't know. You lose Joe Burrow for the majority of the season. Like, what are you supposed to do with that Bengals team? So, yeah, I guess any other coaching news that I might have missed here that you boys want to spotlight?
No, I just think, yeah, Pete Carroll not necessarily given a fair, not necessarily fair, but he inherited dog shit. So I don't know necessarily what their expectations were for him. I'm sure not inheriting the number one overall pick, but you got to think that you're in a pretty good position if that is the case. You have your franchise possibly saving quarterback in Fernando Mendoza if you believe in that. But yeah,
Yeah, well, and I guess one last thing is, like, I was watching the ending into that Chiefs-Raiders game. It's kind of back and forth at the end, and the Raiders pulled it out, and, like, Pete was pumped up for that win. So if this is it for Pete, which it probably is, at least he got to go out with the W, even though the season absolutely stunk.
yeah.
Talking about some crazy end of the season theatrics. I don't know if that's the right word, but yeah, we already kind of talked about it. The overall spreads for the year. So we picked every spread through week 18 of the NFL season. So that is, what, 272 games, I believe? And Sean and Nick tied at 134, 134, and 4.
Balanced.
That's pretty insane, in my opinion, for there to be 18 weeks of spread picks. And you guys to both tie at 500.
Yeah,
Now-
I mean, we didn't have that. Well, we had a decent chunk of squad rides, but we didn't have squad rides reaching triple digits.
Right. Well, and then I somehow eked out a one-game lead over both of you at the end of the season. So I went 135, 133, and 4.
I can tell you how you did it. It was the Houston game. It was the Atlanta game. The hate week fucked me.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what it came down to.
And
Yeah.
I just blindly rooted for the Packers every week.
So yeah, shout out to you guys for
Sucking
both
balls.
doing the 40-40-40, I believe, right?
Yeah, I mean, we gotta find a high school with a track and bring a couple Mickeys or whatever the kids are drinking nowadays with some 40s and get your stopwatch broken because you're gonna be doing that.
Hell yeah, I will be the referee.
This is
Since
going
you
on
guys are
YouTube,
both-
right? This is
Right. Well, and
Probably.
since you guys are both doing it, I feel like we have to have like something that the winner gets. I don't know what, but there should be some kind of competition here to make it worthwhile. And yeah, listeners out there, if you know of any place that we could potentially do this that you have access to,
If you know high
since
school with pretty lenient liquor policy,
right, let us know. Comment. Let us know. And you too could be featured in this spectacular event that will be the 40-40-40. So yeah, I guess highlighting last week, I went 8-8. Nick went 7-9, and Sean went 6-10. Man, I mean, this was a tough week to pick with all of the backups and the games just not meaning anything. Um, the afternoon spread killed us. I just want to throw that out there. Like, not
yeah,
that
it was
we
brutal.
necessarily did great outside of that, but like outside of the Rams winning
Collectively,
and
it was rough.
Nick picking Denver. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
every other afternoon game was. Oh, I guess the Buffalo game was afternoon too. But anyways, afternoon game just killed us on the spreads last week. And squad rides also got decimated. We went 3-6 in week 18 on squad rides. So unfortunately, we end the regular season at 68, 72, and 3 on squad rides. But now we are into a brand new season. The
Now's where it counts,
playoffs.
folks.
Right. What these teams did the last 18 weeks matters for seeding, matters for home field advantage, but all that matters now is going 1-0. 4 more times for these teams, 3 more times for the teams that are on bye, and you're Super Bowl champion. So yeah, first game we're going to have on Wild Card Weekend is the Los Angeles Rams heading to Carolina Saturday afternoon. The Rams are road 10.5-point favorites for a playoff game,
Playoffs.
double digits, and a hook. Holy shnikes, that's a big line. I guess I can lead us off since I went 8-8. If you
Yeah.
boys are all right with
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
By me.
This sucks, but I'm going Carolina. And the reason I say this sucks is the Rams. I do feel like have a chance to come out the NFC. They are talented. Matthew Stafford, talented. However, 10.5-point games for a road playoff game, like that's just crazy. I do expect the Rams to obviously win this game, but I think Carolina can cover, even if it's a backdoor cover. So yeah, I'll take Carolina plus 10.5 because there ain't no way I can lay 10.5 on a road playoff team.
Yeah, and so I'll go next since I went 7-8 or 7-9 last week. I'm also
You
going to
earned
be
it.
going with Carolina. I mean, Carolina already beat the Rams earlier this year. Not saying they're going to do it again because the stakes are different, but it's also West Coast team coming to the East Coast. I don't know everything here, and it's an earlier game. To me, it just feels like backdoor cover for Carolina. 100% expect the Rams to win. But 10.5 is so many points. And I know the Rams can, they can hang in there with the best of them, but Carolina likes to ground and pound, and they're going to chew away the clock. Doesn't matter if they're up, down, whatever. They're going to try and look to run the ball. Running the ball means eating more clock. Eating more clock means less opportunities to score. So I think that 10.5 is going to be really tough for any team to overcome. So locking in the Panthers.
All
Who
right.
do
I
you
guess
like in
that
this
means
one?
I'm up. Yeah, like you guys pointed out already, this is the biggest spread of the weekend, and with good reason. NFC South is terrible with an 8-9 winner hosting a far better team. Like, the Rams are some of the people's favorites. They could be my favorite. I don't quite know how I feel yet about the playoffs and everything. I haven't done as much prep as I would have liked to on this fine Tuesday. But the Rams are going to be getting Devontae Adams. He's going to be healthy, which I do not believe he was the last time earlier in the year when they went to Carolina and got beat. So that happens. You got the revenge angle of them, like I said, getting beat earlier in the year. I know you can make the case for Carolina coming off of a loss, extremely dangerous. Like I said, they're not going to go on a run. Like Carolina Panthers will not be making the NFC Championship.
Whoa.
It's more of a, I don't know. You guys watched the game. You saw the graphic since week 7 where they win, loss, win, loss, win, loss against quality teams. They're like a pinball or ping pong or whatever. So I don't know. I know you can make the case for him, but like I could also see Bryce Young looking awful and could completely shit the bed. But my only thought is that the Rams have struggled going across the country facing East Coast teams, whether it's Philadelphia, Carolina, the Falcons most recently, and 10.5 points is too much. So I don't feel great about it, but give me the Panthers.
Yeah, one kind of final nugget for this that I was trying to research. Do you guys want to guess what Carolina's point differential is after going 8-9 and winning the NFC South?
Probably like negative.
It is
70.
negative.
It's probably one of the only negative teams in the playoffs.
Negative 69. So very close,
Nice.
Sean. Very close. You definitely getting a cookie for that one. I don't know if
Can't wait.
I'll get
Better
you a
be
dunker
now.
next time I see you.
Oh, you know how to speak.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Good for Carolina getting to host a home game here, but that's tough if you're looking for any deep run out of them. Next game Saturday night, Amazon Prime. Because why can we not just have NFL playoff games on normal TV services? You got to buy the subscription. It's an NFC North showdown for the third time this year. The Packers heading back to Soldier Field to take on the Bears. We just saw these teams play a few weeks ago. The Packers, with Jordan Love getting injured, choked at the end. Romeo Doubs can't recover an onside kick. Keyshawn Nixon can't guard anybody. And the Bears beat them in Soldier Field a couple weeks ago. But now, can the Packers get revenge? The Packers are road 1.5 point favorites at the time that we are recording this on Tuesday night. I have seen this line keep flip-flopping back and forth, I guess, between Packers and Bears favored. I'm going to go with Chicago in this one. I'm going to go with the home team. This one does hurt. My reasoning is the Bears didn't really get a chance to establish the run against us that first game. And I'm a little nervous after what King Henry did to the Packers that the Bears will be able to establish the run, take some pressure off of Caleb Williams. Love hasn't played since that Chicago game a couple weeks ago, so I'm a little nervous about him being a little rusty. I'm going to take Chicago at home. Don't love it, obviously, being a Packers fan, but I don't know. Packers losing 4 or 5 in a row going into the playoffs. I mean, that's just not good for team morale. So, yeah, I'll take the Bears plus 1.5. Nick?
Yeah, so obviously I'm going to be going with the Packers here. Here's my reasoning: is the Bears just never really looked that impressive. I don't remember, besides the Niners game. Actually, you know what? I take that back. The Niners game, the Bears looked good, except for their fucking defense. I don't know. It's just like, it feels like it's going to be one of those games where either the Packers fucking dominate the game and the Bears literally have no shot the entire fucking game, or it's going to be one of those games where the Packers have to eke out a really close and hardcore win. Either way, I'm going to be going with Green Bay here. I feel pretty confident in the Bears not being able to keep up. The only way I see the Bears beating the Packers here is if they do get that ground game going. But I think that's going to be a heavy emphasis for the Packers this week, and they're really going to look to stop that. And I just don't trust crying Caleb Williams having to throw. If the Packers make crying Caleb Williams throw, I think the Green Bay wins. So give me the Packers.
Like, I can only imagine that your prep and everything, I like to think that you're just in a study up in the North Woods, kind of like very similar to The Shining, just caved in with snow. You have mounds of papers for every other teams and everything, all the in-depth analysis. And then when it gets to the Packers, all it is just go Pack go each week, week in and week out.
Amen.
But like, I love it. Don't change. Like Brogan said, round 3 with each side getting one. So it's 1-1 going into the third. It's going to be interesting. We just signed Trayvon Diggs. Is he a qualified cornerback? Was he just pulling the blinds over Cowboys fans? I hope to God so. But again, part of me wants to take the Bears just because the Packers should have beaten this team a couple weeks ago, and you can look at it like We should be 2-0 going into this game against the Bears, and it's really hard to beat a team 3 times. But I'm convinced. All right. Like, I don't know. It took an onside kick, and it's so tough to beat a team 3 times. I know. But it took an onside kick to beat us. So technically it's 1-1, and we didn't beat them again. And I don't think it's going to happen. I think that the one win the Bears got against us this year is all they're going to get. Because I fucking love this broken-ass team to my core. And I will say, my team, our team, America's team, should be. But, like, they needed a horseshoe so far up the ass, you could visibly see it past the Adam's apple. It was fucking nuts. I think the Packers beat this sorry-ass team. They're insufferable online fans, which I've been on Twitter, and it's fucking terrible.
Dude, you're finally on it? You're finally on it?
The goddamn world. Have I had it? I've had it since week fucking I've had it since the offseason of last year. I fucking hate the Bears. I hate their fucking fans. They're 5-0 offseason champ banner hanging sorry ass. Yeah, no. We're going to beat them. We're going to beat their insufferable online fan base. And again, when their fan base eventually comes to the defense of their nail-painting fraud of a quarterback, when he lays an egg against this defense, which he should not be laying an egg against, it's, they were tired. It was a short week. Injuries, blah, 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 fucking blah. The Bears are they have a lucky couple of weeks. They got lucky a couple of weeks ago. And I think their luck stops here. Again, like I was telling Brogan and Nick earlier in the week, they played their starters. They played their hearts out. They possibly got CJ, GJ hurt, which could be good for the Packers, could be bad. I don't know. And they have the gall, the fucking balls to say some teams rest their starters. I looked this fucking quote up an hour ago. Some teams rest their starters. Some teams, where did I have that? Some teams rest their starters. We don't. We play football. Your team morale is low. You lost to the Lions when they were playing for nothing. Get fucked. Go Pack, go. That's all I got.
And one other thing is that's online Bears fans' presence is going to really piss me off. No matter what happens in this game, if they lose, they're just going to pawn it off as, it was never about making the playoffs this year. It was just about blah, 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 which is false. I've seen many Bears fans.
Week 1.
I saw many Bears fans on Twitter saying, yeah, we're going to go 13-4. I saw, so this isn't a fucking season that came out of nowhere. A lot of Bear fans were expecting it, okay? A lot of them were expecting it, but they're going to play it off like, it was never about making the playoff. It was never about blah, blah. We're just playing with house money.
We're just mental year for Caleb.
We're playing with house money. So if they lose, that's the fucking excuse. They're going to pull out their ass. And if they win, they're going to say crying Caleb Williams, my apologies. That crying Caleb Williams is the Messiah of Chicago. They are just so more than ready to crown the next king of Chicago, which is why they are so hard pushing this fucking narrative that crying Caleb Williams is a good quarterback. I will go to my fucking grave saying that he's not. All right, the Bears fucking suck.
Hell yeah, brother. All right, let's move on to the first game on Sunday down in Duval. The Bills heading down to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Bills are road 1.5-point favorites in this game. And listen, I love me Josh Allen. Normally I love death taxes Josh Allen in Buffalo. They're not in Buffalo anymore. But just like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, it's not going to shut down Josh Allen not being in Buffalo. Give me the Bills -1.5. Listen, the Jags have been jagging off in the regular season, winning the AFC South. People talk about the NFC South being a candy division, being able to take candy from a big. I mean, that division sucks. The AFC South sucks too. Let's be real. So
yeah, 2 teams in the playoffs. What do you mean?
I'm not impressed. Not impressed by the
Colts
Jags.
had 8 wins.
Not impressed by the Jags at all. Buffalo -1.5. Will we see a lock of this? Potentially.
I'm
done.
You done?
Yep, I'm done.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna be jagging off. I haven't been jagging off recently. I'm getting on the jagging off train. Death taxes Josh Allen at home. Josh Allen's not at home. The Jags looked incredible last week. It's Josh Allen and James Cook versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence is putting on his best ball that he ever has in his entire career. They are getting hot at the right time. All right, you always, every time we're getting playoff time, I always check to see what teams are getting hot, what teams are not. And right now, the Jags are fucking hot. So I'm going to be jagging off this week with a fucking +1.5 plus money at home for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah, sign me up.
Love that. But yeah, I refute that statement, Brogan. The fucking AFC South, sure, take out the Titans, and that's a competitive division. One,
No.
that's all I got there. But
No.
like, I didn't know who to pick going into this one. I
Bills.
really would have liked the Bills to get a slightly more favorable draw. Like Nick was saying, the Jags are white hot, but I got to be riding with the Jags team at home all year. And Trevor Lawrence is in the consideration for MVP, even though it might just be me and a couple other people. But could do it. Could be a dark horse. Who knows? If the Bills win this one, look for him to go on a run. But I think the run stops in Duval.
Duval.
Give me the Jags. Give me the baby oil. Give me everything. I've been riding with it. I will live and die with this Jags team this year.
All right. Well, I mean, you want the Bills to get a better draw than that. I mean, is it Pittsburgh maybe? Who's like?
I wanted Bills Patriots.
Oh, come on. All right.
If Justin Herbert with a broken hand is catching 3.5, what do you think Josh Allen's getting?
maybe we'll find out in the future. I don't know how the seeding. I haven't looked as far. Okay, whatever. Moving back to the NFC Sunday afternoon, the Niners heading to Philadelphia to take on the defending champions. Talking about draws, what a draw for the defending champion. Getting the Niners right away. Not a cupcake game, at least in my opinion, by any means. 4.5 is what Philly is currently favored by at home. And I don't know. I think that's too much. I'm gonna go with the Niners plus 4.5. I can see this game going one of two ways, honestly. And maybe you could say this about every game. I think the Eagles either win by like 3 touchdowns, or this is a field goal game, and I lean more likely to it being a field goal game. Niners offense is hot. Their defense sucks, but so does Jalen Hurts. So I'll take the Niners plus 4.5.
Yeah, so I don't know. The Eagles just haven't been impressive this year. I know the Niners kind of stumbled last week. I'm anticipating them to get back on their feet and to do something now. So I'm also going to be riding with the Niners. For Packers playoff hopes, I hope the Niners lose. But, yeah, I'm going to go with the Niners here. I don't know. I feel like they're going to be able to string something together, especially if they get Warner back.
Walk me through that one. So you hope we play Seattle?
Dude, I do not want to play I don't want to play the Niners. I don't care if the Packers win. I don't care who we have to play, just not the Niners. I don't care.
We wouldn't. They're what are they? A 6 seed?
Are
Yeah,
they? Okay.
them.
I haven't looked at
Packers win. We're guaranteed to go to Seattle because
We're
Seattle
the
gets
7.
the
They're the
Seattle gets
2.
the lowest seed
Or 1.
remaining.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All
I
right,
haven't looked that deep
threw me
into
off.
it.
I was like, when the fuck would we play these guys?
The NFC Championship, baby.
Yeah, I think this matchup, like Brogan said, it's either going to go one of two ways. But I'm leaning with the way that I think this matchup's going to expose the Niners. Their defense is in shambles, and they just lost another linebacker. Last week, when I was watching the game, it made me realize that their defense, or not their defense, their offense can get got by a good defense. They have a great offense, but their defense, Jesus Christ, I'm a little drunk. They got what the fuck am I trying to say here? They got a great offense, but that offense can get got by a great defense. Holy shit. Okay.
I'm with you.
Oh my God. Yep, there we go. The Eagles were like, they've been able to show that they have a great defense throughout the year, even though it's shaky at times. But I'm convinced that they're going to show up and, yeah, give me the birds.
All right. Well, then moving on to Sunday night, we got the Chargers heading to New England to take on Mr. MVP Drake May, allegedly. Uh, the Patriots are
Trevor
home
Lawrence has something to say to that.
3.5 point favorites.
That Stafford,
Listen,
get the fuck out of here.
I was gonna go New England and Drake May,
As you
but
should.
I'm flipping and I'm going Chargers plus 3.5. And I think Chargers now in the last 30 seconds I've changed my mind to this. The Chargers could win this game outright, and here's why. There's only one Harbaugh currently employed in the NFL. Jim Harbaugh
Yeah,
is that Harbaugh.
resurrecting
John
that
Harbaugh
out.
got fired, right? So who says that John Harbaugh can't help Jim Harbaugh out for this game, right? So you're gonna have potentially two I mean, I get John Harbaugh can't be fully, but you're gonna have dual Harbaughs against Drake May. Who's got it better than us? Nobody. Give me the Chargers plus 3.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with New England here. New England's offense is just
Boo.
good as fuck. Like I've mentioned a couple times, the only way they lose is if their defense. But the Chargers kind of come and go with their run game and their running backs, like Ramondre Stevenson, and I figured the other one. They're kind of balling, and I don't think the Chargers are going to be able to stop that threat. And Chargers don't have a high, like enough potent offense to really compete. So I'm going to go with New England here. I don't see New England getting too much further than this, but I like them here. So lock me in, baby.
Yeah, this is a cross country road trip, which I've been, unless you're the Jags going to Denver, has usually worked out pretty well for me. And this Chargers team, the shell of a Chargers offense going against a Vrabel led defense, they're going to be looking to tee off on an offensive line that's going to be missing both of their tackles, I believe. So possibly, in my opinion, this could be the biggest blowout of the week with this Pats team. And I was unaware that John Harbaugh got fired. That fucking sucks.
Literally happened earlier
No.
today.
Yeah, I'm seeing all the articles now, a couple hours ago. So shitty. But yeah, long story short, give me the Patriots.
Yeah, and you know who John Harbaugh and the Ravens played just 3 weeks ago? I'm not
Right, Pats.
saying. I'm not saying. All right. Moving on to the final game of the wild card weekend. It's not on the weekend though. It's on Monday night, and it's the Houston Texans heading to Pittsburgh to take on Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. DK Metcalf is back after punching the fan in Detroit. However,
Not an object, a literal human being.
the Texans are favored by 3 points as the road team in this matchup. And does Rodgers have more primetime magic in him? I'm going to go with no. I'm going to take the Texans -3. This pains me a little bit because I do. Would I mind seeing Rodgers go on a run in the NFC? Obviously not.
AFC.
I would. Jesus, AFC. Yeah, I would love to see Rodgers go on a run in the AFC. But this Texans defense is legit, arguably one of the best units, if not the best, in the NFL. One thing is Rodgers can't move. The Ravens didn't seem to have any bit of a pass rush, and it still took everything they had to beat for the Rodgers to beat them. Jesus, I'm sorry, this captain's hitting me too. But I don't know. This defense scares me for Rodgers. I think they're going to get after him, and I don't know. After that big relief of winning that game, can you stay hot 2 weeks in a row? I don't think they can. I'll take Houston -3 on the road.
Yeah, so I'm kind of just comparing this game to the Browns game. I would like to say, I mean, obviously the Browns have a better pass rush than the Texans do, but they weren't able to do a whole lot against the Browns. I don't think they're going to be able to do a whole lot against the Texans either. And like Brogan said, I mean, I'm a Rodgers lover, right? I want to see him win. I want to see him win and continue to go on a run in the AFC. That would be delightful. That would probably be the greatest thing like I could ever ask for, is to see one last run out of Rodgers in the playoffs. I don't think it's going to happen. That Texans defense is just so fucking good in every single facet. They are like top of the line in almost everything. So I feel like it's going to be a low scoring affair, but the Steelers defense isn't as good as advertised. You know, the Steelers defense should be better. It isn't. I think the Texans are going to be able to eke this one out in a low scoring affair. I want the Steelers to win, though. I don't know if it's going to happen. So lock me in for the Texans here.
That's completely understandable. Now, because I do have the quarterback that is Aaron Rodgers. He's a little bit of an enigma, a little bit of an asshole sometimes, but he is philosophical. So when I was doing this, I did have to look up this quote and pull up my notes app here quick and recite it. And I'm going to be starting this one off with that quote. Once more into the fray, into the last good fight I'll ever know. Live and die on this day. Live and die on this day. That one felt important to me because potentially this may be the last time we ever see that bad man Aaron Rodgers. And he knows it. We know it. And I think we're going to see the scrappiest, gutsiest version of him that we've seen since, when was that fucking throw? The 2015 divisional game against the Cardinals.
Oh!
And how many times have we seen this script before? Rodgers hosting a team in the playoffs with the defense, with a better defense coming in. He's got almost zero weapons, aside from DK Metcalf, which he's had a true number one before and worked out well for him. And again, the man, he just has found a way to win on occasion. Like I said, if this is the last time that we see him, it's been a goddamn absolute pleasure. And I may even get emotional watching. I don't know. It'll be a lot of emotions to watch after a year is this? 2026? About 16, 17 years of watching him tear shit up in the NFL.
Yep.
It'll be awesome to see. But oh, God damn it. The eternal optimist in me is telling me that he's going to win. He's going to find a way one more time and get it done. Plus, the more analytical side of it, you got Mike Tomlin as a home dog, which I absolutely love that trend. It's been around 500. I think it's a little bit over 500 this year. And they're getting DK back after he hit that fan. He's going to be looking to show his stuff off yet again.
Throw some punches at the defense.
The most important stat that I didn't even realize existed, the most insane stat that I found was that the Steelers have a Monday Night Football home game winning streak of 23. This has gone back to 1992. 1992. They have not lost a Monday Night Football game at home at the Three Rivers. It is absolutely insane. Give me the Steelers here.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a great way to cap off the spreads for Wild Card Weekend. Unbelievable pull there.
Love that. Good job, Sean.
Much appreciated.
All right, well, let's hope that we have some banger games for this Wild Card Weekend, and we'll be back for the divisional, or picking the spreads for the divisional next week. Before we get to our locks, let's go to everybody's favorite segment, Dogs. Now, Dogs, which were heaters at the beginning of this podcast, when it was heaters, they were ice cold. And then we changed the name to Dogs. And the Dogs have been barking. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. I have. There have been 6 out of the last 7 weeks, at least one dog
6,
barking. And the majority of those weeks, multiple dogs barking. So I'm not trying to prop up this segment too much, because obviously there's dogs that don't hit too. And we're not saying that all these are guaranteed to hit. However, dogs are barking. And last week, we had 2 dogs barking. Nick hit the Houston defensive special teams anytime touchdown, plus 475. Cha-ching. And Riley Leonard came through, like I already brought up earlier in this podcast, for an anytime touchdown, plus 500. So, I mean, dogs are barking, boys. And I got 2 dogs for this next week. So I got one that's like not super spicy, and then one that's, I guess I was kind of shocked what the line was. So the first one that's not super spicy, Buffinville, Buffalo, oh
Buff and
jeez,
Phil.
Buffalo,
You're ready for this
Jacksonville.
game, dude.
To be the highest scoring game of the weekend, plus 200. Maybe this is a square bet, but this is the only game that has a pregame total above 46.5. This total is 52.5 currently. 2-1 for this game to be the highest scoring. Outside of the Rams Panthers, I'm not necessarily too concerned of the other games. Listen, it's going to be colder in Chicago, colder in Philadelphia, colder in New England, colder in Pittsburgh. So Carolina and this Jacksonville game are the only games that are going to be warmer. So yeah, I like that being the highest score at plus 200. And then Calvin Austin to score another touchdown at plus 850. Now, listen, I get DK's coming back. Can lightning strike twice? Maybe not. But this is plus 850. This is 8.5 to 1. Rodgers came out after the game saying how Calvin Austin and him have been working and they've been waiting for Calvin Austin to have his moment. Obviously, he has his moment. This is a guy I truly believe Rodgers trusts in. And being a Rodgers fan for the last 2 decades of my life, basically, he goes to his guys. So I could see Calvin Austin getting more work, even though DK's back as well. So plus 850 on this one just seemed way too high. So I like the value in this one. Calvin Austin anytime touchdown plus 850.
I like that too. Like that I like
it.
that because like that's
Yeah.
definitely a Rodgers tendency to definitely go back to the well. You know, if somebody does well for him and he trusts them and, you know, they make the right decisions and they're a smart player, Rodgers will always, you know, emphasize them. So yeah, I like that one. That one's a banger one,
Sean,
actually.
I see not your locks, excuse me. Your dogs are absolute nukes. Do you want to share those with our listeners?
Huh. Oh boy, would I. First one, we got, I like to call it, a little cat parlay coming up. Little meow. We got Carolina and Jacksonville moneyline parlay. That would hit you at plus 911. Not bad. A little over 9 to 1. And the next one, absolute fucking heater. Whoop. Yeah, you already know. I'll change that up a little bit. We got Kyle Juszczyk, first touchdown scorer at plus 5,500. Give me that money all the way to the bank.
Love it. I love those. Those are nukes.
Oh,
Nick,
yeah. We got to swing big for the fences here, baby. It's a playoffs. Let's go.
Nick, you have been fairly hot with dogs that are defensive special teams touchdowns. Are you pulling one out for the wild card weekend, or are you going in a different direction?
There's none of them that I actually like this week, unfortunately.
Okay.
We're going in another direction. I liked your highest scoring, so we're going to go with the lowest scoring here. And this one's going to be kind of weird. This is for plus 500. Lowest scoring, Niners Eagles, lowest scoring game.
All right.
To me, I could easily see this being a fucking like 10 to 16 game. You know, where both teams their defenses are just playing really well, but their offenses can't catch anything. I mean, especially with last week with the Niners, like struggling a little bit on offense. The Eagles having a good defense. The Niners also having a good defense. So I could easily see this being the lowest scoring game. Niners, Eagles, plus 500 for lowest scoring. Love it.
And
Awesome.
the Eagles just find a way to get it done.
Is that your only dog of the week? It's
That
fine
is-
if it is.
That is my only dog.
Love it. All right, well, let's move on to locks. We're still picking 5 locks of the week, even though we have less games. And then we're also still doing the parlay of the week, which, I don't know. Maybe we should change the name of that one because that one doesn't fucking hit ever. Anyways, Nick or Sean, I guess, Nick, you're 4-1. Did you want to go first, or do you want me to go?
I can rip them out.
All right. Rip them out.
I'm going to go Devontae Adams, anytime touchdown. Just love that. I mean, minus 125. Why would you go anywhere else? And then I'm going to go with Christian Watson over 50 receiving yards for minus 128. On the other hand, I really like the Jags spread at 1.5. So I'm also locking that in. We're going back to the Packers game. Ryan Caleb's rushing total over 20 yards at minus 147. We're locking that bitch in. We couldn't contain him last time. Ryan Caleb likes to use his legs. I don't see how this doesn't hit. And then the last game of the week, we are going to go with the Chargers New England game. We're going to go on the point total over 46.5. I love that. I think it's New England scores a lot. They don't have a great defense. The Chargers have a solid on both sides of the ball. The points are going to be had. I think that one's going to be a fun game to watch. So those are my 5.
All right, Sean, I'm going to jump in front of you because last week you jumped in front of me and
we
stole
were
the Big
both
Ten
fucking
parlay.
terrible. Oh yeah, go for it.
so-
I'm piggybacking a lot off of here.
Anyways, I am going back to the college well. I think I forgot to mention that, Sean and I mentioned it with our locks, but we got absolutely killed by college ball last week. And listen, in the great words of Randy Marsh, I didn't hear no bell. I'm going back. Ole Miss plus 3.5. Listen, Miami got a fluke win against Ohio State. Ohio State pissed down their leg in the first half. And I mean, listen, Miami got it done. They got the win, but they're coming off that high. Ole Miss seems like a team of destiny. Lane Kiffin leaves them, and this team is coming together and winning football games. Their quarterback has already said he wants to come back next year. Their running back, I believe, also is coming back next year. So in the year of the transfer portal, their guys aren't leaving, even though their coach did. So give me Ole Miss plus 3.5 over Miami. And then also, in the battle of the Big Ten teams, give me Oregon plus 3.5 over Indiana. Listen, Indiana killed Alabama in the Rose Bowl. Kurt Cignetti's a dog, but the Oregon Ducks also are dogs. They killed Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl. I like Oregon plus 3.5 over Indiana. Now back to the NFL. Josh Allen, anytime touchdown. I kind of hyped it when I was talking about the Jags-Buffalo game, but Josh Allen's going to be Superman for the Buffalo Bills and get it done. So Josh Allen, anytime touchdown. I'm also going to lock Buffalo money line against the Jags, going directly against Nick here. I guess if the Buffalo Bills win by 1, we could both win both of our locks, but I love Buffalo this week down in Jacksonville. And then I'm also going to lock Houston minus 3. Listen, I just think their defense is too much. Their pass rush is too much. This is one I guess I wouldn't mind being wrong on because I would like Rodgers, I guess, to make a little run. And yeah, that's, I guess, my 5 picks for 5 locks for this week. Sean?
All right. Well, yeah, much to my dismay, I am going to be following a few of Nick's picks as I have in my notes, unfortunately. I thought about the Ole Miss one, but I'm only getting burnt if I'm getting burnt one time in college this week. So I'm going to go Indiana minus 3.5 against Oregon. Look, they went into Eugene. They beat their ass. Not beat their ass, but it's a tough place to play. And they won by 7. And they're playing in a neutral court or neutral field on turf in a dome. The weather won't be a factor. I think Kurt Cignetti and the boys are going to dominate. I heard somebody say this is round 3 of JMU versus Oregon, and it's all tied up at 1-1. So can't wait to see what that's going to lead. Next one, I thought about doing this for the parlay of the week, so then either Brogan or I would lose. But we're going to have we're going to do Packers money line.
Well, at this point, for locks, we're going to be going against each other on some of them.
Yeah.
Not a lot of games. It's just inevitable.
All right, what do we got here left? Packers money line. Next one, we got Watson over 50 receiving yards. I was looking at this today, and I'm like, God, this is something Nick would do. And, of course, he did it. So give me Watson over 50 receiving yards. And then I was looking at Caleb Williams over 20 rushing yards. I'm like, fucking, I really hope Nick doesn't take this one. And of course he does. So I got to get my locks up so I can start picking again before Nick. So yeah, give me Caleb Williams over 20 rushing yards. The next one would be give me the Pats, the better team. Actually, you know what? We're going to save that one for the parlay of the week because I want to try and win some money on that one. Pats minus 3.5. And then the last lock, again, I feel extremely confident in it, but I feel even more confident in the Patriots. But give me the Steelers minus 3. The Monday night home winning streak extends. Let's go.
All right. Well, I love that our locks are going directly against each other. Besides you two buddying up and taking two of the same, but
Yeah, there's a little bit of collusion we called before.
Yeah. True.
all right. Well, quickly parlay of the week. Parlay of the week here. Sean dropped his in there. Pat -3.5. I'm gonna go Chicago money line. Again, I guess I'm maybe just being a doom and gloom Packer fan, but I think Chicago gets that one done. Nick, what's your parlay of the week?
We're going to ride out with doubling down on Christian Watson, over 50 receiving yards. It's just Jordan Love loves Christian Watson. They're both going to be fresh, coming back. I feel pretty good about that. And Chicago's defense, down the fucking toilet the past couple of weeks. So,
hell yeah.
Terrible.
Well, yeah, parlay of the week, Pats -3.5. Chicago money line, and Watson over 50 receiving yards, plus 528, little 5-1 sweetener. This one's gonna hit because we haven't hit one in many weeks. So yeah,
we keep getting one off. We keep getting
please,
one off.
Please hit. All right, boys, that's wild card weekend. Anything else you guys wanna chat about?
Happy it's finally here. Sad the NFL season's almost over. See you at Pato at the window, folks.
Oh yeah. Nick.
No, it was a fun season.
Yep.
You know, stay tuned to our YouTube Bets and Regrets. We're going to be uploading the punishment for the spread picks. Whenever we get around to it, we'll probably be in the off season whenever it gets warmer and whatnot. So look towards spring, summer for us to do that. But it will be done. Will be uploaded. Sean and I will get that punishment on the way.
Yep.
So,
and regular season ends, but the playoff season is just beginning, boys, and it's going to be a banger. I can feel it. All right, well, that's the card. If you're riding with any of these picks, hit the follow on Spotify and save this episode so you've got it when kickoff hits. And if one of these bets hits, send this episode to a friend who said it wouldn't. We'll be back next week. Bets now, regrets later. Goodbye.
bye.
See ya.